Hey guys, if you're new, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Yes, I got it right. Okay, I had to do so many takes of that. Okay, what you see here might be my new icon for my channel. It might not be. It's definitely a new Redbubble design. So, you know, be sure to follow me on Redbubble, and the link for that will be in the description, or at the very least, just like some of my designs, so at least I know what you like and what you don't like. So yeah, this video is basically gonna be about my basic review for Stranded Deep, you know? Um, so, for starters, I just have to say, I didn't like it. Okay, guys, so basically, the reason why I didn't like this game, I have a lot of reasons actually why I don't like this game. So, first off, let's just start at the beginning. So, when you start the game, you're in a airplane or whatever, and I guess you're going somewhere on an important business meeting. I don't know, there wasn't really a lot of nuance to what the fuck was happening. It just all of a sudden started crashing and going into the ocean. It was basically that cliche of like falling from an airplane and then you had to swim to a fucking shore and then basically survive. I guess that was the trope of it all. It wasn't really that deep, wasn't really in depth. Doesn't I guess this game's supposed to have a story. I haven't found the story out yet, but when I do, I'll tell you it. Um, yeah, but it wasn't like really deep. I feel like the first couple minutes of the game should like really capture the player's attention, and it should make you want to play more of it, but it didn't. Like, it was really just cutthroat, like, okay, you're stranded, you have to survive now. um and also just the main menu of options you have for the game, like, how, yeah, like the main menu, it's so bland, cause it's just so bland. Like, it looked like a freaking Taco Bell menu or some shit. Like, it just looks so stupid. Just because it only has like four options before you start the game, like your sex. It doesn't ask for your name because God forbid it was a RPG or anything like that. It asks you for like permadeath option. First of all, I mean, I wanted to do permadeath option, but when I did it, it was kind of like every time I died, the game was basically over. So I was like, fuck that. Like, that's just stupid. Like, that's such a waste of time. But I want to, at the bare minimum, just save the game so that way if I die, I can just start from where I saved. I don't want to have to restart the whole game, restart the whole quote unquote story, which it probably doesn't even really have, and the story probably sucks ass. But anyway, so you go on shore and basically, the freaking right off the bat, the lifeboat or whatever, yeah, the lifeboat sucks. I can't get it offshore. I'm not sure if you're supposed to get it offshore, but I feel like you're only supposed to use it to get to shore in the beginning of the game and then never use it again. Basically, the rations, there's like maybe two waters or three food rations or whatever. It's not really that specific. It's very, very, very basic. So you go on an island and then basically they go give you a tutorial, which is kind of tedious because it's just it's just all tutorials are tedious whether you know what you're doing or not. I feel like, for me, I would rather just I would want like little hints here and there, but I wouldn't want like to be told what to do exactly in the beginning of the game. It's just kind of takes some of the fun out of it, and also it's just like another thing was with the controls. The controls were kind of it was weird. I don't know, maybe because like the games I play, the standard, I play on Xbox One, if you were just wondering. I don't play on PC, so maybe it's different on PC, and I'm gonna touch on that subject in a minute. But so for Xbox One, usually it's like A to jump, Y to climb or whatever. And you have like different buttons for different functions, like like how Minecraft is. If you go on the button section of Minecraft and you do like in settings, select different buttons for different functions or whatever, it's like that. Here, I feel like they have a lot of functions crammed into one button. Like, for me at least, I had to hold RB if I wanted the crafting menu, but if I wanted to make something, then you would have to like click it or whatever. Um, Same thing with like cutting coconuts. Like you had to go up, climb up a tree. I don't know what button you had to use to climb up a tree. It's muscle memory at this point, but still. You climb a tree, come back down. You drop the coconut. You cut it two times with a refined knife. Then you pick up the coconut again, and then you drink it, but then you can't even use it anymore in the beginning, because it's all out of milk or whatever. So then you have to throw that on the ground, literally just littering from the jump. You're just littering. Then you have to basically repeat the cycle over and over again. And of course, since you're in the beginning of the game, it's gonna be like it's gonna be like you're gonna have to keep doing this over and over again. And the coconut milk doesn't really refill your thirst tab or whatever that much. I feel like it only goes up a bar, and there's like maybe 7 or 8 bars. So, and you, for some reason, you really get really thirsty really fast. Like, your hunger meter will stay up for like 2 or 3 days, but your thirst meter will basically deplete in a day. No fucking sense. Okay, so yeah, so basically after the tutorial is when it starts to get a little fun. You get to make your shelter or whatever, you get to make your campfire, you get to have your little meat. For some reason, this is what I want to talk about next, is basically the interactions with animals. Okay, so basically animal interaction so far. So far I only seen like a crab, a gulper, I think I saw a hammerhead shark, but it didn't really do anything, so I'm not gonna really include it in this. I saw a what's that? A wild hog or whatever. I saw one of those. And what else I see? I saw bats. So I'll just be going based off those four. Sorry, I didn't really play the game that much. I'm still playing it. I'm still trying to feel it out. This is still my reaction towards the beginning of the game. It's not the game entirely. It might get better as I go along. This is just my summary for the beginning of the game. So basically, let's start off with the crab. The crab, I wouldn't say it was super hard to kill. It's just that when you try to kill something in this game, for some reason the combat is really glitchy and crappy. It's shit. Okay, you have to like stab a crab 8 times and not get hit back or whatever by the crab. I don't know. The crab doesn't do that much damage. You don't have to really worry about the crab. It's fine. It's just stupid. It's stupid because you're trying to stab the crab with a knife, you know? It's a refined knife, it's a good knife. But for some reason, I feel like they say you have to crouch, which kind of makes sense because the crab's super small, but like when you crouch and still stab it, it's like unless it's standing still, which our crab is never fucking standing still. It's always moving for whatever reason. It can never just stand still and bask in the sun. It doesn't do any damage. Like it doesn't kill it. Like you have to be basically on top of it and almost getting hurt to kill a crab. And so next I'm gonna go to Gulper. Gulper I found when trying to salvage a ship underwater or whatever. It didn't give me any good loot. I think it was like the first ship you see in the game. I feel like whatever island you land on, it's gonna have one of those really shitty, broken, wrecked ships that only have like a container of tuna or binoculars or underwear straps or just, you know, stupid crap that you will never really need. So that's basically what I found in the shipwreck. But like above it, you see a bunch of little fish and stuff. The gulper, I guess, I don't know if you're supposed to catch it for food. I think there's a fishing aspect of this game that I haven't discovered yet, so maybe that's how you're supposed to fish. I don't really know. You know, it was kind of weird to me. The directions weren't very clear in the beginning of the game. Like it was just kind of like they told you the basics, but they didn't really tell you how the game kind of works in a way. Like, you know, the basics. Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. I guess I can kind of compare it to like Minecraft. Like Minecraft, they're very specific on what they want you to do on Minecraft for the most part. You know, they kind of explain everything in great detail. But yeah, for this game, it didn't. I guess for some reason you're supposed to figure everything out for yourself, button wise. I'm not talking about like just like story mode. I'm just talking about like how to, I don't know. I think this is what I kind of want to go into next. I know I'm very messy with this video, but it's just there's so much to talk about and it's hard to like find one thing to talk about at a time, because if now that I'm speaking about it like through a video, I can just see that there's like a bunch of aspects of this game that I just didn't like. Like I don't think there was really any aspect of this game that I liked, you know. But yeah, like So let's just skip fuck the gulper. Let's just skip it and go to the freaking hog. Okay, so basically I'm swimming towards an island because freaking life raft doesn't go offshore anymore. You get stuck every single time. So I swim towards another island. I guess I wasn't ready for it because it was a huge ass distance, and I almost immediately die right when I get on the island. So you're trying to kill this freaking hog or whatever, and all I really have is a refined knife and maybe a spear. Uh, the combat sucks. Like, the combat was terrible. The combat is what made me want to quit the game. Like, you you try to stab this freaking pig like 17 times. I'm not talking about with a short knife. At this point, I'm using like the actual spear. And for some dumb reason, that thing does not want to die. And the game doesn't really show you blood. But unless it's your own, obviously. But it doesn't show you blood like that. So you really don't know if you're actually hitting the animal. Like, you really don't know if you're actually doing damage. You kind of have to pray to God that maybe there's an invisible health bar above it, that it's just clicking down to 0, because there is nothing telling you that you're hurting this animal. Like, nothing says, okay, you're about to kill this animal now. Oh. Okay, so next thing is the graphics. Okay, so when you start the game, the graphics look okay because you're on the plane or whatever for like a good 5 seconds, and then everything goes to shit, and then your plane crashes in the ocean. You gotta survive. I guess the pilot died too or whatever. You swim up, and then that's when you start to see the graphics start to fuck up a little bit because it's like, God, where do I even begin with this? The water itself, I'm not gonna blame. Okay, the water at night is fine because the moonlight is shining on it, and I feel like they did a really good job in that part. Like, it shines on the water, it bounces off the water, but everything else graphic wise is disgusting. And I'm just speaking about this because, like, when I see other people play the game, the graphics look a little bit nicer than from my perspective, because
God, that was so useful.
I don't know, the graphics on my Xbox One, for whatever reason, they must not gave the Xbox One version of this game an update for whatever freaking reason, because when I see people play it on the PC or whatever, it's like crystal clear, you can see everything, you can see the plants individually. I couldn't see shit. For like the good first 20 minutes of this game, I could not see anything clearly. All the plants were basically the same exact shade of green, and especially if you have like the small palm tree, which basically is like a blade of grass, because no offense, but that thing is like barely taller than the grass, you don't really see it that well. Especially at night, because for some reason people say that the light reflects from the moon onto the plants really nicely. It doesn't reflect on anything in my game. Like, in my game, it is almost pitch black. Like, I'm surprised you guys can see anything in my game. Like, the only trees I can honestly see are like the big palm trees and some bushes, and that's it. So yeah, and then also the clouds were like the worst part of the graphics, because, well, I mean, I guess you can guys can kind of see from my game, the clouds were basically just blurry. Every time you looked in a different direction, but you were still looking at the clouds, the graphics would just go from 0 to like negative 2000. It would get so blurry. It was like seeing the world through the perspective of someone with cataracts or something. Like, it was just blurry as shit. It really didn't make that much sense, especially going underwater. Look, I'm gonna cut them some slack with like the grass or whatever. I'm gonna cut them some slack with that. The shore was actually not bad for graphics. It was kind of clear on the coast. As you deep dive underwater, the graphics were terrible. It was like the colors, for some reason, they don't blend in it. They really clash together. Like, it was either dark navy blue or light blue. And then when you were rising to the surface, you couldn't see like the water. You know how the water on the surface looks, how it just like bounces off and it kind of looks a little fractured image. That's what it's supposed to look like, because you're about to surface above water. It's supposed to get lighter and stuff. You don't see that. Like, at some point, I don't have it on this video, but I think I did it on Twitch. I went so deep and I rose up, because I was about to lose oxygen or whatever, but I didn't know how to rise back up. Like, I couldn't see the surface of the ocean, and I wasn't that deep either, because the oxygen supply in this game was garbage. I mean, not really ribbing on it like that, but like, I guess it was supposed to be really realistic, which it was, so I'm not gonna punish them for that. That's kind of realistic, so I guess I'll give you props. But yeah, like you get poisoned really easily. I guess they have this like
Regular
LED
booster,
watch kind of thing that basically
the
tells you what your health is. It's kind of like
refreshments,
I feel like they kind
and
of
tools.
copied Fallout a little bit with the watches, but whatever. Just a little derivative, but who cares? Um, yeah, but the watches basically tell you what your health is, like whether you're poisoned or whatever. And for some reason, maybe y'all can explain this to me in the comments, but I kept getting poisoned by like ultraviolet radiation. I'm like, oh my fucking god! Like he literally gets sick from everything. Like literally, like literally,
Oh, I
he
think it
like
might be a
sometimes you just sit there and
duplicate.
he'll get sick from something. Like what the fuck?
But you can't craft
But
it. Amazing.
yeah, my next complaint is basically the islands. I know I'm kind of like lingering on, but who cares at this point? So the island itself is like really small. There's not much on each island, and I feel like this game requires a lot of your time to play. It's like one of those games that if you like play for 22 hours, you'll still get nowhere. It only takes you like maybe like a month or a year to really get somewhere in this game.
Alright, so this is craft a refined knife. Alright, what else we need? A lashing. Oh, I can't make those materials.